Navigating cultures in America's polyglot society requires both skill and artistry. Hip-hop artist Omar Effendim, cafe owner Frederic Boudouani, and young Alia Suwaya are bridge builders. They live their lives embracing their Arab and American sides and give anyone who meets them a lesson in cultural competence. Omar Effendim is an artist, activist, educator, poet, and a bridge between his Arab roots and his American upbringing. He's found an audience of young Americans and young Arabs eager to figure out the forces that connect us.
One-man show over here.
I hear that. I'm with you.
Yes, sir. Do it all. I'm a walk-in, talking record label.
Make some noise for Omar Effendim! Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Omar Effendim, and I'd like to welcome you to a lovely little place I call Syriana Americana. See, this is a nation state of mind where everything is connected and everybody is welcome. Would you like to join me? Give you a little Arabic one-on-one right here, see? I don't say bro, I say heyo. I mix my garlic and mayo. You ask me where, I say heyo. Then ask me why, I say leyo. See, my business is shirley, blood boiling bigly. Don't you stop.
You know, when I'm on tour, I have the opportunity to perform in, a variety of settings, and that's something I really appreciate.
No cash for your own cab? Well, you better issue.
Put a kind of a special importance on performing at college campuses and universities, because that's kind of where I first got not just into hip-hop, but also first got politicized and really understood, how important, identity politics were, especially in the United States. And I really enjoy speaking to classes and having, the opportunity to kind of tell my story, create an intimate space that, students are comfortable kind of sharing their stories in as well. For me, at the end of the day, what I try to do with my work is kind of reflect, the ideals that the community that raised me in kind of, have been instilled in me, and the notion of humanity, letting people kind of see the humanity in one another, regardless of where we're from, what our ethnicity or race or religion or sexual orientation or any of that is. I think, art at its best can do that, can remind us of that human connection that we have with each other and with each other's experiences. Because what happened, after 9/11, I felt like, was that we were so quick to tell people what we weren't. I'm not a terrorist, I'm not an extremist, I'm not this, I'm not that, and not take the time to tell them what we really are, Younger Americans are very interested in what's happening in a genuine way, and that's resulted in them being more interested in my music.
For years now. You can bring the beat down just a little bit more. And one of the saddest things about that is that lives, human lives, just become numbers. See? We've grown numb to imagery of death and demise. Blind as St. Paul till he saw a Syrian sky miles away. Wars preying on the teariest eyes. Our deaf ears still ain't hearing a cry. Why is it even worth asking anymore? Guilt is but a swinging door. Crooked men on either side cushioning each other's fall. Orphans hiding from a devil with dark wings. And writers with a conscience feel it pluck at our heartstrings. But very seldom do we bother to speak. Led to believe we're rendered powerless by fatherless creeps. Bastardized politics is while our daughters beseech us to let them flee these borders in peace. I wonder if these sad scenarios will still remain as commonplace when I'm a father. Wanna face Allah without regrets. Could've tried harder. Quranic verses. We can all live or die by Ya laytani kuntu turaba. Now Ya laytani kuntu turaba basically means I wish I was dust. And it's believed that on that day, when our souls are resurrected, and if we're asked if we feel like we've done enough, those who don't, that's what they say.
I've been doing this for years and years, but the interest has really spiked as these events have started to unfold in the Middle East, and I think that I'm blessed to be able to be in the position that I'm in, to be able to speak to these issues.
Who live within this conspicuous state. Sore thumbs, short crumbs can cure hunger, but what are the post-traumatic stress a 3-year-old will undergo in Baghdad? Make some noise for yourselves for coming out and supporting real hip-hop music and spoken word art with a message. Thank you.
Peace, 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 peace be upon yous. This is Real Talk only on One Legacy Radio. I am Sammy Muffin, of course. I'm joined by my man, Imam Sohaib Webb. Rayhan Jalali, Omar Fendam, action-packed show.
I met Sami Matar a couple years ago in Southern California, and we kind of hit it off right away. And it's great to be able to see eye to eye with somebody. I mean, I'll find instances where, you know, I'll be in a studio, we'll have friends visiting, people, you know, watch me do a take. They'll think it sounded great, but he'll know that it wasn't the take that I wanted.
Whenever you're ready.
Let's do this.
Yo. Yeah. Perfect. For far too long, a Middle Eastern freedom song was considered improbable or not even optional. The Arab youth were too irresponsible, religion an obstacle, but it was inevitable to the conscious folk who knew what was possible. Conditions were optimal. The domino effect they all neglected was unstoppable.
The song is called Domino Effect, and it essentially is just talking about what's happening in the Middle East right now with respect to the uprisings and the ripple effect that's taken place, you know, from one nation to another.
The tyrants thinking they pride a sign of greatness. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, put up by masons, so we will fall flat on his face and give him the spoils, weapons, contracts, and oil.
It's important to shed light on this, especially for people here in the United States who don't necessarily think about it, and as often as I do, but who are really affected by it, you know, whether they like to believe it or not. You know, we live in that kind of world today. It's a shrinking globe. The United States' foreign policy has had a huge effect on the region. And you know, this is all playing out right now, you know, and this is the results of that. So.
And I can't tell you what it means to me when hearing millions of my people chant for peace and freedom, so rebelling, overwhelming, wish my father lived to see them.
And in some ways, the medium is the message too, in the sense that I'm on stage doing what I'm doing as a, you know, young, confident Arab Muslim male, and rapping in this language that they understand, that they can relate to, in this art form that they can relate to, and that in itself is a message. So it is, you know, I don't take lightly the position that I'm in, you know, and as the years have gone by, I've kind of really tried to push myself to craft lyrics that address that and really get at the core of what I'm trying to do, which is be that bridge, you know, for my own sanity, because I live in the U.S. and I am Arab and I am Muslim and I'm proud of all those things, you know. So.
With an agreement that the lenders cut them off at the knees and get to freezing bank accounts and whole amounts for what they stole amounts to treason. Till all these clowns start stepping down and skipping town. It's hunting season.
You might not expect to find an Algerian cafe in Iowa, but then you probably don't know El Kader, Iowa is named for an Algerian war hero. Serendipity brought Frederic Boudouani and Brian Bruning to the small town. Their mission? To give the town a taste of its namesake's culture, from the Middle East to the Middle West.
My name is Frederic Fethi Boudouani. I'm the co-owner of Shera's Algerian-American restaurant. You're here in Al Kader, Iowa, a town that's named after Emir Abdel Qadir, sort of the George Washington of Algeria, for those who are not familiar with him. This is our little endeavor in Al Kader, Iowa, a town of a little over 1,200 people. Welcome to Shera's, short for Shehrazad from Arabian Nights, but it's also my sister's name. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Thanks. This room is actually very significant to this community. As small of a community as Al Kader is, it has 9 spots that are on the National Registry of Historical Places. When the courthouse crossed the river here was being built, this room served as a courtroom for about 3 years, so it's kind of a special room. We can go outside if you'd like to. We were not strangers to Iowa. My partner, Brian, is a native Iowan. Both of us went to school and lived in Boston, so we were familiar with the state. We would come and visit his family at least a couple of times a year. Then September 11th happened. So in my way of trying to make sense of that horrific event, I decided to research the history of Islam in the United States, and to my great surprise, that led me to the Mother Mosque in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. My dad, being of Algerian descent, it was quite a special moment for me. So we made the drive, and we went to City Hall, and they literally picked up the phone and called this gentleman that was an ex-mayor, and he was there within a minute.
Ed encouraged them that maybe if they were looking for a place to change what they did and all that, you know, Al-Qaeda would be the ideal spot. So it just all worked out. The restaurant became available.
Yeah.
Ed, my husband, his name is Ed Olson, and he has worn a lot of different hats in Al-Qaeda, but he was mayor for 8 years.
I think he had better. He had it all planned out. I would never forget this. So we go back from our visit to Al-Qaeda, and like a couple of weeks later, the Clayton County Register, the town newspaper, started showing up in our mailbox, and that was his little way of throwing hints at us and keep us interested in what was going on.
We just developed this very strong relationship. It's just like never having a son. I have a son now. He's you know, if I need anything, he will help me.
It was fascinating to me that there is this guy that is from a Norwegian background. He was heading this community, and he saw something in this connection and wanted to nurture it and develop it. And had it not been for him and for her and what they've started, I would have never been here. So this is where the magic happens. This is my partner, Brian. It's kind of a smaller space, but it still amazes me the amount of things that we can get out of here. So. In the Midwest are live and let live people. You show up, you're different, and you're cooking this food that they're not used to. Once they discover that you're like them in the pursuit of happiness, I think they take you in as one of their own, and they think, yeah, you're all right. We'll take you in. So
they make a hot sauce. It's just great, called the harissa. That's just out of this world.
But very rare sometimes if you find a place with such good food, good beer, a little bit of culture. You don't usually find that, so that makes it worthwhile to kind of stop here every week.
But to find a place like this is just like a jewel, you know. So, because it's hard to find good food out in the middle of nowhere, and these guys have it. So.
Yes, I'm ordering the portobello mushroom sandwich because I've had that before and I loved it.
Yeah, this is Main Street Al-Qaeda, the big metropolis that it is. How are you guys? So we acquired the space and restored it. Tonight we're using the space for an art exhibit. Mascara Park, dedicated to our sister city in Algeria, Mascara. In the early 90s, there was a peace pole that was erected that reads, "May peace reign on earth," and it reads it in different languages, including Arabic. This is my parents, my dad and mom. And this is Brian's parents. So it was a community effort to raise money to restore the park. This was erected to the memory of Ed Olson. He is sort of the founder of the Sister City organization, and he was a man with a vision and kind of kept it alive. They actually had exchanges and went to Algeria, and they had Algerians come back here.
And we were treated like royalty, and we were very important people over there when we were there.
This is our livelihood, but
in my mind, it's more than that. I truly consider it that it's sort of a tool for building bridges through one of the things that are the most dear and important to people, food.
Every marriage is a merging of cultures. Krista Bremer and Ismail Suwaya have learned to both negotiate and celebrate difference with each other and their kids. It requires constant attention on her parents' part, but 10-year-old Alia navigates her two cultural heritages effortlessly.
I am a writer. For the last several years, I've written personal essays and memoir, and I am working on a memoir about my bicultural family. I'm exploring the differences between my own upbringing as a middle-class American from an atheist family, and I'm married to a Libyan-born Muslim who was raised by illiterate parents in a very poor environment.
I was born in a coastal town that's situated west of Tripoli, the capital of Libya. I came to the U.S. to get a PhD, so I had a scholarship from the University in Tripoli. By the time when I finished, Libya was under sanctions, and Gaddafi's signature was really not only just internal but also external, so that made it difficult. And it made the decision for me to stay easy.
Really good. Really good.
Did your mom send you these spices?
Yeah.
Really good. Well, we left Libya with them, right? The same ones.
We just brought a bunch of them.
They're really delicious.
The things that I really miss for my kids from that culture is really community. It's just a sense of like, regardless of your circumstances, there are people around you all the time.
Oh, Alia, can I borrow a pick? Because I accidentally left mine at home.
Yeah, there should be one somewhere in that box.
I'm going to try to use a... No, I think...
Oh, I have a pick, like, somewhere. I swear I do. Hold on. We're doing a thing called Crafts for Libya, and we're raising money for Libya. And the original Crafts for Libya was on my blog, and I posted that I was selling stuff like scrunchies, earrings, flower bobby pins, like little bobby pins with knitted flowers on them. I'm just gonna spread these out.
Wait, what's this one supposed to be? A leaf?
I did that over the summer and the end of the school year. And now we're doing kind of a second like part of it. Our school, Smith Middle School, they do this big fair every year called Global Connections, and like it's like really big. Like, to give you an idea of it, last year they had hot air balloons and normally about 1,000 people come. And but we're doing this thing called Global Marketplace this year where people can have stands to raise money for charity. So we're gonna have a stand for Crafts for Libya. So right now I'm making a leg warmer, and I think Kara's making a scarf.
Yeah.
The first Crafts for Libya, I just thought, I felt like I wanted to raise money and for Libya, since, like, you know, my dad was like really anxious and like I had heard what was going on. And so I started that like around the time that the revolution started, like a couple months afterwards. The money is actually going to, it's gonna go to orphaned children in Libya whose parents like died fighting. And so, yeah.
It's important to both of us to raise our children to choose what they appreciate the most from our, you know, our dramatically different backgrounds and our different cultures.
Ready?
And I think that we both recognize that each of our cultures has something really valuable to offer them, and there are also very real limitations from each of our backgrounds that we would like to, you know, spare our children So I think that every step of the way we try to, you know, question our own assumptions and our own prejudice, and it's an ongoing process because we continue to, at least speaking for myself, I would say I continue to uncover prejudice that I didn't realize I had.
New Moon magazine is a magazine for girls by girls, and it's really down to earth, so I really like it. This article is about comparing the American version of beauty and the Libyan version of beauty. I walked out of the Tripoli airport to shouts of joy. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, and even strangers rushed toward me. Before I knew it, I found myself encased in folds of beautiful, earth-toned, intricately designed, handmade cloth, the smell of rosewater and incense mingling in my nose. My shoulders were wet with my family's tears of happiness. My mother is American, but my father is from Libya, where the concept of beauty couldn't be more different than the hot supermodels and trendy American brands. In Libya, with the exception of the headscarf, the dominant colors are earth tones: white, tan, black, brown, and cream. Most women in Libya wear head coverings called hijabs. There are hundreds of ways to wear them with different pins, knots, and folds. In the marketplace, there are beautiful silk pashmina, cotton, and polyester scarves in every color and pattern you can imagine. Western-style clothing such as miniskirts and skinny jeans are rarely seen. Women here wear modest outfits, baggy cotton pants and loose shirts, and long cloth dresses. I like wearing it seasonally, like when it's cold out. I like wearing because it's warm.
I think what I learned from her is that, you know, she's not burdened by any negative associations with either of our cultures. And so she experiences our two cultures with a pure, fresh, open mind. When she decided that she wanted to wear a headscarf to school, it just never occurred to her that anyone could judge her negatively for wearing this beautiful piece of cloth. She also was not concerned at all by the fact that she was the only one who dressed that way. And that's probably more her personality than anything, but I admire that a great deal. And I admire her ability to integrate these different influences without seeing them as opposed to one another.
My visit to Libya will remain deeply etched in my mind for as long as I live. I love wearing the headscarf and showing my uniqueness as an Arab American. My experience showed me that I definitely favor the Libyan idea of beauty to the American one, and always will because my style is modest and comfortable.
I think my marriage to Krista actually made me a better Muslim and a better human being in general. And our differences really bond us rather than divide us. And so she really, she gave me more appreciation of the differences between our cultures, having to navigate our own differences. She forced me to be more tolerant, more patient, better listener, although that's something I still struggle with.
I think that he always longed for and idealized a certain type of freedom that he felt he could find in the West.
That's true.
And it's fascinating to me because I grew up with all of that freedom and sort of expansive, you know, sort of boundlessness. And I think I always longed for more of the structure. You know, I think we've both been seeking these things and we bring them into balance sometimes with one another.
I am Neda Ulabi. Hope to see you next week for more Arab American stories.